What's up YouTube? Shades here, back again with the Corvette boys. We're back again with another video. I know it's been a while, but we're gonna get right into this C8 talk. So recently, before, you know, that we've seen the new C8R, which they always come out with the race version first. So we've seen the C8R, and the C7R was the first one to come out. So we know that the production model is either ready or it should be ready at this point, because if they made the race version, it's pretty much going to look exactly the same as the base model. The race version just looks a little more cut up. Now, in my opinion, I see a lot of people saying it looks like an NSX and it looks like the Acura and a Ferrari. You know what? I think, in my opinion, I see a lot of renderings that do look similar to other cars, but you really got to wait until Chevy comes out with the car to know what it's going to look like. Chevy never fails to excite us. You know, I thought, you know, when the ZR1 was going to come out, I was like, oh, big wing. You know what I mean? I didn't know about that. I was like, you know, it looks kind of crappy. I don't think that it's really going to flow out good. A giant wing on the back of the car. Then everybody was saying, you know, it was going to look just like the Viper, and it was the same body style with the big wing, and they were going on about that. But when it came out, it did have a big wing, but it had its own look. And I didn't think, you know, personally, that it was going to look good, but it balances out nice. And that car is really, really, really good looking. But a lot of people ask me, why didn't you get the ZR1, especially if you're in the position to go do so? I'll tell you why. If you already have a C7 at home, it looks just like a C7, minus the giant wing that's on the back. It looks exactly like a C7. So there's really no point in having two C7s in the driveway. We go after, you know, the newer body styles. We want one from every year. There's really no point in going to get one. And personally, there's really no point in going to buy one anyways, unless you're going to use the car for what it's made for. Now, personally, I go to, you know, we go to car shows, we, you know, do some racing in Mexico. Of course, always in Mexico. But I'm not going to be tracking the car. And when I say tracking, I'm not talking about quarter mile. You know, we would like to get into some quarter mile runs to see what the cars do. I'm talking about as far as going around like Nuremberg or however, excuse my pronunciation if I have it wrong. I'm not going around like a full-scale track to track the car and run lap times on a car. That's just not what I'm into. So personally, I mean, it is very much so nice to have 755 horsepower at your foot, but is it really worth 150 grand? No. Especially, is it really worth 150 grand when the new C8 is going to come out and it's going to be half the price? See, it's not worth it. And I mean, if the C8 was, you know, 5, 6, 7 years out of making, you know, it wasn't going to be out anytime soon, you know, maybe we would consider going to get a ZR1. But when, you know, when it's so close to production the way it is, I'll even put up a little video will pop up here, or I'll have it take over the whole screen. You can actually see right here a video of it taking off. There, those are clips of the C8 being tested. Although it is being tested, it does sound almost similar to a C7. Apparently it has twin turbo and a dual clutch on it, so it sounds similar. The car sits down in the back. Most cars do sit down that way though, but the car sits down pretty much like the C6, like the C7, like the C5 does when you step on the gas. What you notice very differently from that body shape there, and I'll put the photo up right here again, or on this side, whichever side I put it on. You'll notice that the body shape is very different. Because when we first started looking at the C8, we were like, you know, I don't know how that's gonna look. Especially when Car and Driver came out with that magazine, and it looked like, you know, I don't know, like a Tesla or something like that. It was like a very It almost looked like an old Lamborghini. It was very boxed out, it was very notchy, and I didn't know how that look was gonna go over. You know, it didn't look like the classic smooth, curvy Corvette. It looked like an old Ferrari or something. You know what I mean? It was very, very boxy, like I was saying. But maybe that was the early production. It had to be an early production because now it's just like Chevy always makes them. It's very curvy. It's very sleek looking. So I'm definitely excited to see it. Now, if you guys had also wanted to see some more of the spy shots, I'll also put them up here while I'm talking, or I may just have them take over the whole screen. You'll just hear me talking. So, like, also to our surprise, you also see a big wing on it. Definitely would be cool to see an active aero wing. You know, when you reach a certain mile per hour or a certain setting in the car, like how they had the dial before to come out, that would be cool. As well as that, the active aero wing would definitely, I don't know, see, because it wouldn't be as big as the ZR1 wing. I'm pretty sure it would make a good amount of downforce, but it wouldn't be making 900 pounds of downforce because it's nowhere near the size. But, you know, just a smaller active aero wing would be nice because I don't think the C8 would look right without some kind of wing being on the back. Don't quote me if I'm wrong, though, because Chevy, like I said, Chevy is always known to surprise. They'll come out with the car. Like everybody said, the C7 was going to look ugly. Personally, I wasn't a big fan of these circle lights going away. C7 came out, and it was by far one of the sexiest things I've ever seen in my life. So, like I said, Chevy's never been one to disappoint. When it comes to there's very small stuff that people complain about, but their cars are top notch. And you know what? I can't complain, but as you guys hear right here, this car's got balls, and a lot of them, and they're brass. Okay, they're brass. So I'm excited. You know what I mean? I also see that, you know, most people complained about, oh, you know, the wheel welds are gapped up too much. You know, I don't understand why Chevy makes a car and it sits 5 or 6 inches off of from the space between the wheel and the actual wheel well. They should make it down. You look closely at the other photos. I'll put another one up again. It seems like they kind of fixed that problem, and it seems like it's a little bit lower. Personally, to me, it never really bothered me. Most people just go and get lower in springs, I guess, and lower the car. It never really bothered me. To me, I think the cars are fine the way they make them. The only thing that I think Chevy should do is offer cam packages. You know what I mean? I think personally, I will definitely be putting a stage 3 cam in this car because I love the way it sounds. I think personally that the C8 should come out with engine options of a cam. You should be able to order a cam with these cars. In my opinion. You should be able to build the car the way you want to. It's great how we can order our own rims, our own color. You can even order the color of the top. That's great, but I would love to see cam options for these cars. Well, I read in an article, don't quote me if I'm wrong though, roughly around 500 horsepower, you know, for the base model, which was kind of roughly around where the C7 was at. And for the souped up version, you know, like the ZR1, or they talked about making like a C8.R only version, which is going to look like the race version. They were talking about making something like that, and it was along the lines of, they said upwards towards 1,000 horsepower. So, I mean, I know that, you know, the C8 isn't even out yet, so the base model is not even in discussion. It's slightly, you know, it has to be close because the last time that we saw a car that was wrapped up coming out was the ZR1. The ZR1 was just released though, and they're still releasing 2019 versions, so I'm thinking 2020, 2021. That's when that car should be coming out. Until next time, just Corvette Boys, always exclusive. Tune in next time, there will be more videos coming out. And as I always say, we out.